Hey guys, welcome to the show. Keith Reza with my trusty sidekick Alan Lee. How are you?
Yeehaw.
All right. We're about to interview the great Luenell, and I'm excited. Are you excited?
No, I am because I forgot how much of an impression I had or have of her. And when I realized that she'd done the Borat movie, one of my favorite movies, comedy movies. Actually, that I almost consider that his best one. Uh, and she was in it, as you know. She played the uh, the prostitute.
Yeah.
And
She's also in the current number one streaming Amazon Prime movie of all time, Coming to America,
to
starring Eddie
America.
Murphy,
Yeah,
Arsenio Hall,
yeah.
Wesley Snipes,
Mhm.
and the great Luenell.
Yes,
Subscribe, rate, review the show, guys. Follow us at Reza Riffs and enjoy the interview with Luenell. You ready, Alan Lee?
we are ready as always.
All right.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, Luenell.
Hello.
Hey, Luenell. How are you?
Hi. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm having internet bad connections. Are you in Los Angeles?
No.
Um, the Spectrum. It's a terrible. My co-host isn't. He might not be able to come, so we'll just get started. Thank you so much for doing the show, though.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, you doing good?
Yeah, I'm actually in Texas. I'm recovering from knee replacement surgery, so I won't be back in Los Angeles till the first part of May.
Oh, nice. But your surgery went well. It went all smooth and healthy.
Yeah, it's my second one. I did my left knee. Now I've done my right knee, and everything's going along fine.
Awesome. You know, one of the things I thought was because I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I try not to ask the same questions. And one of the things I really liked about listening to interviews with you is when Gary Owen interviewed you, you called Godfrey and you like patched up that thing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a very right now type of chick.
so, so you're in Coming to America too. That's the number one movie streaming on Amazon. What's that like? Because you were in Dynamite, which was on Netflix, which was the number one streaming for Netflix, and now it's on Amazon Prime. Like, how are the servers different for you as an artist?
Well, it was Dolomite, not Dynamite.
Oh, did I say Dynamite?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said Dolomite.
No, it's a Dynamite. But that's okay. And I mean, I'm not shocked at the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked at that. I expected it to be the one of the highest streaming movies on the streaming services. I expected that because this was a well anticipated film. You know.
Yeah. Now, what was that like auditioning for that? Did your friendship with Eddie Murphy get you into it, or did you audition for it?
I did not audition. I think my friendship with Eddie might have had something to do with it, but I think it was more about the friendship I have with the director Craig Brewer, because Craig also directed Dolomite, where I had auditioned 7 times for that film for a certain part. I didn't get that part, but I got the part of the ant, which I'm glad about as well, because that scene was just Eddie and I alone together. You know, I didn't have to share the scene with anybody. So I was really happy about that. And it's, yeah, Craig and I became friends during the audition process for Dolomite. So when Coming to America came up, I guess just wanted to work with me again and didn't have any objections from Eddie. So boom.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just before we continue, Alan Lee, the co-host, is in. I don't know if you saw him, but he just got in.
I heard a ding, but I didn't see nobody.
I don't
Alan
know.
Lee?
You can hear just a
Hi,
thing
babe.
bad stuff about me already, but I had a problem logging in. It's Zoom.us. It had these two or three ones, and well, good to see you, honey. I glad to meet you. Heard a lot about
Thank
you.
you.
Luenell, do you like being interviewed more by comedians or people who are just like interviewers? Because I think comedians, it's more easier to do. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make me any difference who interviews me. I find that if they're comedians that I already know, of course we will have a rapport that, I don't have with just an interviewer. But if it's comedians that I don't know, then, that would be the same as doing it for media. So I don't really care who interviews me as long as they don't, like you say, ask me the same repetitive questions that any novice interviewer would ask,
Yeah. So, and then, so we were going back on, Alan, just to catching you up. We were going about on Coming to America, which is now number one movie streaming on Amazon Prime.
Congratulations, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I watched it, and I thought it was, I wouldn't say it was better than the first. It was different on the same level. Does that make sense?
To me, it does, because it's like, first of all, it's other people that were competing this film with the first one. We never were trying to compete this movie with the first one because there never was going to be a second one until they started thinking about it and talking about it maybe 8 years ago. But the film was not originally made to have a sequel made after it. But I'm not surprised at the numbers. I'm not surprised at the reactions, good and bad, because the people that I believe are trying to pan it, I guess, at the same time wish they were in it,
Yeah.
And so we're on such a high for that film, being able to work with all those people and work with Ruth Carter and see her garments adorned on everybody, and to be associated with icons like Gladys Knight and In Vogue and stuff like that, who are my friends from Oakland, because In Vogue's from the Oakland Bay Area, and to work with Tracy and Eddie and myself, and we're on such a high from having that experience that we're just not really paying any attention to any of the negative flack, at all. Like, we just don't care, because nothing's gonna make us not feel happy and proud of that film at all, ever.
Yeah. Now, a question I had is, because like in that movie, especially in your scenes, you're working with a lot of stand-up comedians like Tracy, Leslie, and Eddie, and you've also done other movies. What's it like working with comedians on film compared to actually like actors? Like, how does that like make you feel as an artist? Is it easier or is it harder?
Well, comedians can do their job if they're required to. In A Star Is Born, you had Andrew Dice Clay and Dave Chappelle and myself, and I think there was another comic. I think Chris
Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin. Yeah. That's 4 comics that were in there, and we just basically stuck to the script. But when you have a director that gives you freedom to go do a couple, that are on the book, and then gives you the freedom to do a couple of takes where you kind of like do what it is they brought you there to do, which is to bring the magic that's not written on the page. Because a writer can be a writer, but a writer can't be a comic. They can maybe make comedic comments, but they can't do what we do, because what we do is innate. It's in our DNA. So working with being interviewed by other comedians, working with other comedians is always fun. There's always an element of hilarity. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry. I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why I got a call. But there's always, a bit of familiarity. There's a bit of knowing the other person's timing and reaction. And that's a lot of times what's golden and what makes the final cut is the improv that we do a lot of time.
Yeah. Now, in the final cut, like when they delete scenes and stuff, did a lot of because it seemed like your character was in it a lot, but it also seemed like they trimmed out a lot. Did they cut you out a lot, or?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I mean the movie can only be so long, and with some of the improvisational stuff in there, we could have went a lot longer. I know that
Yeah.
there was a scene in the church where Lavelle and Zamo, that's the real name, Zamo, were going to get married. The little liquor store, little church, little storefront church.
Yeah.
You remember that? And in the original cut, we went in there and we didn't see anybody. We heard some noises, and I pull a rope, and the rope opens up, and it's Arsenio, the Reverend, in the baptismal pool, which is a jacuzzi, with a very dedicated and giving church member. You understand?
Yeah.
So that part got cut, and we wish that it had not, because that was pretty funny. But I think in an effort to keep it PG-13, that some of the stuff just didn't make the cut because it would not have been PG-13.
Now that was another question. Like, Arsenio Hall is one of my personal heroes. I mean, if you think about it, he's the guy who took down Johnny Carson. You know what I mean? And it's like, what was that like? Just working with him, and was it intimidating, or have you guys been friends before?
Well, I was blessed enough to do the Arsenio Hall late night television show when he had it this last time. I got a chance to perform. So I knew Eddie before Dolomite, and I knew Arsenio before this film Coming to America. I knew Eddie, of course, because I had been good friends with Charlie, rest in peace, and had been on, out on the road with Charlie, had done movies with Charlie, had done skits with Charlie, and I knew Eddie from being in the club or, just meeting and happenstance. So even though working with him is still a very, suck your breath in moment, I had already sucked my breath in years ago when I met him before. But working with Arsenio is wonderful because he's he sort of like translates for Eddie or tells him what's been going on, and he lets him have little funny anecdotes. And me and Arsenio shared some, and I could tell when he was telling them the Eddie and pointing and stuff and laughing. And, it's hard to have a bad time with that many, iconic people around you who are known for the humor,
Yeah. Now, when you're on the set, do you guys talk about how what jokes would work and stuff, or do you guys talk about the stand-up days? Because I've only done one movie, and it was with a comedian, and we just talked about stand-up the whole time. We didn't really care about the script.
No, we don't. We there was a lot of story sharing, I guess you could say, amongst like Tracy Morgan and stuff like that. But Eddie pretty much was not, hanging out with the crowd when he was off camera. And Arsenio, not so much either, but the Leslie, me, Rodney Perry, Tracy Morgan, Nav Green and stuff like that, we would hang around more. And so it was really Tracy who set the mood for the day, because I don't know if you remember Do the Right Thing, but Tracy Morgan was sort of like Radio Raheem, because he had ghetto blaster on his shoulder and he would blast music. And I remember, you can always hear him coming before you see him because he's always playing that music. And then one time when they were setting up lights and we were just kicking it in the tent, it's on my Instagram and my manager's Instagram too. I remember when Tracy was playing Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, and everybody burst into a big air guitar drum whole concert, air concert. And that was really fun. And it was days like this that happened often.
Yeah. I also heard when you do a movie, you're probably one of the only stars that actually goes and talks to the extras and bring them food and stuff. That's pretty cool. How what made you give
really
that idea?
Food. I don't really bring them food because until I got my knee surgery, it was painful for me to even go get my own food. But I do try to talk to the extras and say hi, because I've only been an extra a very few times, many, many years ago. But I know that feeling when that person comes to talk to you and and you're just awestruck and you're so happy and stuff. And I don't see any reason to be rude to the extras. I talk a lot of trash, I'd be like, what are you guys eating? Oh, you're eating that little box lunch. Yeah, we got lobster today. And don't you want to get your SAG card so you can eat what we eat? So I might tease them like that. But that should be motivation, damn it. But I don't really, I always go and fuck with them and talk to them. Fuck them with them like that.
And see, that's pretty cool because a lot of stars won't do that. So like,
I think that's pretty shitty when they don't, because it doesn't cost you anything to go and say hi to somebody. And I could name names of people who did not do anything like that on several movies when I was going to go do it. But I just don't see any reason to not go and say hello, stick your head in, wave hi, say hi to everybody, give them like 5 minutes of your time. It doesn't cost anything. I just don't understand stars who won't do stuff like that.
Yeah. Now with this pandemic that's slowly coming to an end, you don't strike me as the type of person who's done any Zoom shows,
No, I absolutely have not and will not ever do any type of Zoom comedy shows. I need an audience. I need them to feel me, smell me, experience me. I don't want to do comedy where a internet glitch will come at your punchline. Then you got to try to explain your punchline again. And it's just too impersonal to me. Yeah. I won't be doing any of that. I haven't, and I won't. I go back on the road in June. So everybody can wait to see me in person. Now we're on the down slope.
Yeah. I did my first show actually last night in a year, and it was pretty fun. And, it was like where like you feel rusty, but then you think, hey, maybe the audience is rusty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna experience that particular feeling, but I understand maybe if you did. You can always blame it on the audience if you like, but.
No, but I was just saying, like, it was definitely my fault. But like, I was trying to make a joke like that, trying to.
Oh.
I love you, Luenell, and I haven't even actually met you.
So do the 789,000 Instagram followers I have, and most of them have never met me either.
Well, I really do thank you for doing this because I know like doing interviews in person is a lot better, and you don't do Zoom shows, so thank you for allowing to do a Zoom interview. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah, I've done many Zoom interviews, and I don't have a problem with that. I do yearn for the days when we were going to do press for upcoming appearance, that we would go to the radio station. I really miss doing at the radio station, but I don't care about doing these like this. And speaking of, if I might plug, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just at Luenell, at LUENELL. My website is heyluenell.com, HEYLUENELL.com. I have some dates coming up. I'm going to heal through the end of April. I'm going to go back to LA in May and get my house in order, so to speak. And my first 3 shows are going to be Indianapolis, Atlanta, and St. Louis. Helium Comedy Club in Indianapolis and Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis, and the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Norcross, Georgia, Father's Day weekend.
Now, I wanted to ask you that as a comic, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer comedy clubs or do you prefer theaters? Because I prefer clubs where it's intimate and, you could hear the laughter for like, seconds after. Theaters, it seems like the laughter like goes in a wave, you know what I mean? So which one do you prefer?
I'm sure that I do prefer clubs, but I also love theater shows because the laughs are bigger. Right. Obviously, there's more people and it's more like a roar. And I can't see anybody any damn way, so I don't get any type of stage fright. I'm nearsighted as a bat. My glasses are right here. And So I don't get any type of stage fright or anything. I wish I could make eye contact with more people in a theater show, but I just pretend and somebody will catch my gaze and think I'm talking right to them. So but I do love the smaller clubs because it reminds me of the good old comedy days. But I will rock out a theater too. I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah. So, well, when this comes back, because I co-book a comedy club in Huntington Beach, I think you should come do it. It only fits like 100 people, but it has that club feeling, you know?
What club is that?
It's called the Rec Room.
Oh, the Rec Room. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you would have me there sometime. I would come do that for, just to be exercising and making new friends and stuff like that, a better demographic. I can't get booked at they're very, very shitty at the Comedy and Magic Club.
Oh yeah.
Like
Rich.
they won't let you on stage unless you have a show on TV or something like that. I've never been booked there ever. And I hope that they reach out to me someday to want to book me so I can say, no, thank you.
I wish I could have that power because like I'm at the point where like I'll take whatever bookings I could get, like I don't have the power to say no because I'm so desperate for money and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, only when you get out of the desperation for money do you have the power to say no. And the power to say no is powerful because if somebody wants you and they offer you a certain amount of money and you say, no, thanks, and they go, well, damn, we got people here ready to buy tickets right now. You don't want to do it. And like, no, I need two tickets, not one. I need this kind of hotel, not that. I don't want your sister to pick me up from the airport. I need car service. I need all that stuff. You go, damn, well, I don't know if we can afford all that. Well, that's okay. Maybe you can double back when you can afford me. Then I'm like, fuck, okay. Well,
Well, see, I remember when I got rejected by the Hermosa Beach Comedy Club, the guy said his name was Rich, and he said that no one wants to hear an autistic comic talk about autism for 45 minutes. And I was just like...
Autism, it can be as funny as being a paraplegic, as being blind, as being any damn thing else. There's humor in everything. He's an asshole, and now you booked the club, right?
No, I booked the Rec Room in Huntington Beach.
Oh, do you mean at the Comedy of Magic, the guy said that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fuck them anyway, because they don't pay nothing no goddamn way. Where's my boy on the other end? Did he just come in and then didn't want to say nothing?
Alan, are you still there?
No, I'm definitely here.
Don't be shy, Alan.
No,
don't let that little autistic bastard take over your show.
You worked with Borat. I thought that was very interesting, and it's one of my favorite funny films. And you married him at the end. And
people forget that we got married at the end. That's why I was mad about the other show because we, Borat and I, like the great Meghan Markle, we had two interracial little kids at our feet when the movie ended. So when this little pasty Irish-looking white girl came in the movie, the second one, I'm like, well, where'd you have this baby at? You must have had a fucking other family across town because that's not what our kids looked like. Boy, a man, you can't trust a man as far as you can throw him, even in fucking Kazakhstan.
Now, speaking of Borat, like, what was it like auditioning for that? Because that movie didn't seem like it actually had a script. It seemed like it was more filmed as it goes. You know what I mean?
Well, the audition process, let's just say that I had not seen Sacha Baron Cohen out of his Ali G stuff. So I didn't really know that was Sasha that was in the room that I was talking to. And the other psycho that's affiliated with the film is Larry Charles, our director, who is like a mad scientist maniac. And that is the beauty of the magic behind that film, is that everybody in is pretty psycho. I auditioned. I had to it was very spontaneous. They didn't have a script even for the audition. They wanted me to pretend like I was like a hooker and tell some wild hooker stories at a fancy dinner party. They were like, go. And so I'm like, and I started making up some wild shit. And then I don't remember exactly what happened, but at some point I took Sasha's hand. This was pre-COVID, of course. And I sucked his finger and he was appalled, of course. And I'm not saying that my finger sucking skills got me the movie, but he was so appalled that he had to have me. And there you go.
That's great. Oh God.
Holy Lord. So like whenever I don't do good on an audition, I'll just suck the person's finger.
Oh, please.
Or whatever. Get you the gig.
Well, you got a point here.
Yeah, don't limit yourself.
I'll tell Rich, hey Rich, can I suck your finger to play at your club?
Oh boy.
Let me be there when you do that.
Me too.
And then we'll tell him to fuck off together.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Now, you're also Rihanna. I'm going to say her name wrong because I don't listen to rap that much, but Rihanna. Is that her name? Rihanna?
Well, yes, she's also not a rapper.
Oh,
either. Yeah.
I just know she has that song Umbrella, right? Umbrella.
Yeah, maybe about 10 years ago she recorded that song.
Well, she booked you to be the lingerie lady. What was that? What's that like?
A Savage X Fenty lingerie ambassador is what I technically am. And all it is having the balls to squeeze into something sexy that Rihanna happens to have in my size and shoot where they see nothing but asses and titties. And then they will never look down to see your belly or nothing like that. Give them a lot of titties, a lot of ass. You can do it. Yeah, but she, a friend, we have a mutual friend, and we talked on the phone spontaneously one night, and I told her that she had some pretty sexy lingerie that I wish that she had some in bigger girl sizes, and she said she does, which I did not know then, but I do know now some of her more voluptuous ambassadors as well. And so I told her, I said, shoot, well, I want to be a lingerie model. She said, let's make it happen. And we laughed and got off the phone. I was like, oh, that was fun. I didn't give it a second thought. But 3 days later, Rihanna herself hit me in my DMs and asked me for my email. And I gave her my email. All these contracts started coming. You'll get paid this amount of money. You got to post twice a month. We'll send you this. We have to send a photo for approval. I was like, oh, shit. So this is a case of writing a check that your ass literally has to cash. And I'm like, oh, fuck, my daughter was 24 at the time. She's got college friends that follow me on the gram. And, this is Rihanna. This isn't, Rainbow. So I'm like very honored to be doing it, but I'm like, oh, damn, how am I going to get into that outfit? Oh, shit, these panties are crotchless. Oh, my God, I got it. What the fuck how am I going to shoot this? Well, we figured out a way, and every month now they've gotten a little sexier and sexier. Well, try to keep it real classy. There's no crotch shots or anything like that.
Yeah.
I keep it, tits and ass is usually what I'm trying to show. Bras and panties.
And that was another thing I actually wanted to go back to Coming to America, because your daughter's actually in that film too. What's it like working with her professionally and not just mother-daughter?
Well, luckily we didn't have any scenes together, because I'm not sure that I wouldn't be a helicopter mom and be hovering over and like, smile, baby, smile for the I'm not sure that I wouldn't be doing that. So we did not have scenes together, so we did not work on the same day. But as far as being in the film together, for the family, it was amazing. For her and I set the bar really high, like your first major motion picture. that got her SAG card is coming to America. Like that doesn't suck, that raises the bar pretty high. I don't think she'll be doing, Good Burger 2 or anything like that. After doing this, she's a little spoiled to the stardom, but she's a wonderful dancer, and she danced behind Tiana Taylor. She's one of the dancers with the flutes and stuff like that, sexy.
Yeah.
And so it was a great experience, and we both were very happy to be going through it together. We had to do the virtual premiere. We got gypped out of one of the greatest premieres that Hollywood would have probably ever seen. We probably would have had lions and giraffes. Eddie might have came in on an elephant. Who the fuck knows, Yeah. And dances, it could have been great, but it ended up being virtual. And that's just the way it had to be. I hope that I get a chance to do another iconic film and don't get gypped out of our fucking premiere. But when they sent stuff to the house that we had to open on camera and stuff, my daughter was there. We did it together. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Well, that big premiere party is going to happen when you do Good Burger 2.
Shit. The only Good Burger I'm thinking about is the one that my sister is seasoning the meat of in a bowl right now. That's the only Good Burger I'm thinking about.
What's your favorite burger?
You mean chain? What's my favorite burger? Chain, or what's my favorite burger that I would make?
Let's just do like restaurant chain, whatever, where you go out and you think, okay, this will actually solve my craving.
Okay, In-N-Out is probably my best burger joint right now.
Yeah.
There was a different one from in the Bay Area. It used to be a place called Quarter Pound Burger, and that used to be the holy grail of hamburgers. After the club, drunk, everything like that. A Quarter Pound Burger will cure your DUI in a minute. So I used to love that burger, but I say In-N-Out Burger right now. And they, I'm out here in Whataburger territory that my sister's in. I'm in Texas. Whataburger, they bow down. They worship the church of Whataburger or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite burger as far as eating out would be In-N-Out Burger. As far as if I make a burger, I'm going to need the burger, some cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, avocado, maybe a little pickle, mayonnaise, toasted bun. That's what I like.
Well, I'm going to put that on the Rec Room menu, and it's going to be called the Luenell Burger. So when you come in, get that.
Don't fuck with me like that. I'll fuck the rest of my PT. I'll come to the club next week. Shit.
Well, we don't open until July, but no.
Oh, lucky me.
Yeah, but no.
Okay, I'll finish the rest of my physical therapy then. Look what I was about to do for you. I was going to risk it all.
But yeah. But Luenell, I wanted to ask you, how do you when you do comedy, because you strike me as someone who writes on stage. Am I wrong on that, or am I totally right?
You're totally wrong.
Okay.
I don't even write my material out, ever. Never have. I write bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have the gift of, I have a degree in English literature. I have the gift of gab, and I have the gift of storytelling, because that's what you learn when you take English. Now, I've had double knee surgery since the quarantine, right? So, I mean, if you think I don't have material just about that, like the fact that I never thought that Luenell, would have a catheter shoved in my pussy, but lo and behold, it happened twice. And I want to meet the motherfucker, because they may see me in the grocery store and be like, I've been all up in, she don't even know. And I won't know who they are. I think it's unfair and uncouth. I felt violated. I said, I think I want to meet the person who puts my catheter in, but they didn't let me do that.
I bet you have an hour just on the knee surgery.
You think? Hell yeah. And the meds. Oh, the meds. It's like after you get a hit of that propofol, you just look up at the sky and say, Michael, I get it. That profile is some bad shit. I wish, oh Lord, if I could get my hands on some of that shit, boy.
Now, are you before COVID happened? Were you writing for another special? And if so, are you going to pick it up or are you going to add some of this material that you've been writing into your new hour?
I was not writing for a special when COVID hit because Netflix has not shown any interest in me or anybody else in doing a special with me at this moment. But now I am, writing for a special now, and I have been for a couple of months. And it really just doesn't take a lot. Because, see, I'm not a scripted comic. Like, I've never liked doing the comedy shows where they say, well, you're going to have to send us in your set before we air. And I might send them anything, and I might say anything the fuck else. Because, like, let's just say I have, 30 minutes worth of comedy for this special. And on the way to the special, something fucking crazy happens. Well, I'm not going to not talk about that because it's not on the list. I'm in control. They don't control me like that. I'm in control. And if I want to go totally rogue off that list, as long as I still kill, nobody should care. But you have to kill. You can't go off your list and be like, shit, bitch, you should have stuck to the list. If you go off your list of shit, because I don't write out, but I will give them my bullet points, which is the only thing that I use. Then if you're going to go off of what you said you were going to say, you better fucking kill that shit. Mm-hmm. Or you been fucked up your special, then be trying to fuck off your money and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the difference between being a comedic, near genius and being a scripted comic. A scripted comic is going to stick to that script. They're going to do the same shit in Georgia that you see them do in New York, that you see them do in Chicago, that you see them do in Utah. But I'm not a scripted comic. So when I'm down in the dirty South, I'm going to do a different set than I am at Caroline's in New York City. If I'm in New York City, I'm going to do a different set than I am if I have to go up to Nyack or be in the Bronx or something. I got to change according to the audience that I'm working with.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Alan, you got any last second questions for Luenell?
The question I had, she just answered with that. That was wonderful. I haven't heard anyone say that in a while, and since my whole life is unscripted, so shit, that was a great thing for her.
You know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean about a scripted comic. Mm-hmm. A scripted comic and a hack are running neck and neck to me.
Oh boy!
Right.
I'm just saying, if I and anybody who's doing the same material after this quarantine as they did before the quarantine, they too are a hack. Mm-hmm. You've been sitting home for a fucking year, and you couldn't think of nothing else to talk about but that bullshit you was talking about a year ago. Oh, you're loose. You're a hack.
Oh my God! There you go. That's the answer.
He knows my boy knows what I'm talking about.
That should be the first joke in the new special.
I'm just saying, my eye, the emoji where your eyes are rolling up. I'm like, oh my God, I know this motherfucker is not still telling that shit. And me, I probably get up and leave.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm not, going to stay there to be polite, and hold your dick for you after the show and say you did a good job. Don't ask me if you don't want to know.
Exactly.
And they say, how'd you like my set? And I'll be like, well, I saw you do that June last year at a barbecue. What the fuck? You ain't got nothing else to fuck. You ain't thought of no new material to talk about. Yeah. We had a whole insurrection. We had a whole election, and you still talking about some bullshit at your. Come on.
Yeah. But you did good at the barbecue.
Well, maybe you should go the barbecue chain route.
Comedy Magic Club. Now, Luenell, what about like your support acts when you hit the road? Like how do you want comics like that who change the material, or like how do you look for when you hire comics? Like what is?
Well, I usually will Okay, half the time I'll use my host and my feature. It depends on the money. You know what I'm saying? Because if I use my host and my feature, I'm responsible for flying them, hoteling them, ground transporting them, and feeding them. If it ain't if the money ain't equating all that, I'll probably use a local host and my own feature. And the thing that the one thing that I don't allow on my show, whether I use a local or whether I use my own people, is I do not allow the N word, period. If anybody's going to say it, it's going to be me. And I rarely say it, but I don't want my audience, N-worded out before I get to stage. It's just uncomfortable. It's like this is how I feel about comics that say, nigga, this, and I told this nigga. If you take a toothpick and you stick yourself with it, it doesn't hurt, right?
Right.
But if you do that fucking long enough, it becomes irritating as shit.
Yeah.
It's irritating. That's how I feel about people using the N-word gratuitously on stage. So I do not allow that on my show. And plus, my shows are very racially mixed, from Persians to Latinos to, the Pacific Islanders to, Black folks. I'm very, and I had my Vegas residency before this shut down. And, that's people, some of them don't even speak English. They just saw me at Borat, saw the flyer, bought the ticket, and came on in the showroom,
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful, like I said, of the people that you're performing in front of. Now, if I'm down in motherfucking, Shoelace, Tennessee, I might let the N-word fly because, that's who's in there.
Right.
There's a room full of them. But I'm not going to say that, if I'm warming up for Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not going to do that.
No,
and I just don't allow it on my show. I don't allow nobody to say it but me.
No, we don't promote the video. We just promote the audio. So you're good.
What you mean? What you mean about that? You mean you don't want people to know I'm black? Oh, I think they figured it out by now. Too late. I think they guessed it.
No, I just have two more questions for you. One,
I don't care. I could do this all day with you crazy motherfuckers.
Oh,
yeah. I just want to respect your time.
Nah, go ahead.
Speaking of the Jimmy Kimmel, I know that you were the first female headliner to be at the Jimmy Kimmel. What was that like?
I think I'm the first person to have a repeat residency there.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Well, it's great because this is Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. It has a whole television show attached to it. Like, you can work in Caesars for 15 years and nobody may never know you. But if you're doing Jimmy's Club, you probably will do Jimmy's show, which I did, and that's more national attention to you. So, that's a blessing to have Kimmel have his own club in Las Vegas. And, there I was on the marquee, I was on the strip, I was on the billboard that's where you get your luggage at in the airport. It was great promotion through Caesars and Kimmel's. And then when Eddie was on Jimmy promoting the movie, I said, look at my boss talking to my boss.
Now, speaking of your boss, Eddie Murphy said he's going to come back to stand-up when this is over. Do you think he hasn't? Yeah, how do you think he could still do it? I mean, I wanted to.
Oh, I think so.
Well, first of all, he didn't say that. He said that had COVID not shut up. See, we made the movie before COVID, thank God.
Yeah.
But what he had wanted to do, knowing that you've got Leslie Jones, Nav Green, Rodney Perry, Tracy Morgan, Arsenio, Eddie, and me, that's 7 comics. He said that he would have liked to go on tour with us before the movie came out as as promotion for the movie and also as his way to break back into stand-up. Do I think he can still do it? Absolutely. Do I think that he will slay and kill us? Absolutely. Did you not see him host Saturday Night Live?
I did not. I don't watch Saturday Night Live.
I don't either. It should have been off TV fucking 30 years ago. And
Thank
that's what
you.
Eddie
I
said.
agree.
He said black people
I
not live since he left.
I believe the last good SNL year was when Will Ferrell's last year.
I'll buy that
Yeah.
because it's been trashed. And you know, I understand Maya Rudolph hanging on, but I think she left. She came back and hosted this last weekend. And you know, I understand Kel hanging on, you know, because I don't think that they're beating the door down looking for Keenan, Kel, whatever the fuck his name is. But
You're good burger stars.
no, but Saturday Night Live has been trash in my book. This is my opinion for years. You know, they don't have no more Eddies. They don't have no more Martin Shorts. They don't have no more Chris Rocks, and they don't have no more Gilda Radners and all that stuff. They're gone. And those were the years that I loved it. You know, I'm gonna say the Belushi years are my favorite. I miss people like Belushi and Sam Kinison and stuff like that. But you know, if they wanted to really do some damage, they should have me on their hosting and let me have a say so in some of them their skits, you know, because they can punch the fuck up, really.
Now, would you ever like want to be a series cast member on SNL if they offered it to you?
Not really. No, and not even for the money. It just would take. I don't want to be a cast. I want to be an enigma. I don't play well in the sandbox with others unless I'm making a major motion picture or a television show. But playing nice in the sandbox with a bunch of corny motherfuckers, I'd just be rolling my eyes and sucking my teeth. And they say Luenell has a bad attitude, just like they did when I worked at the bank. So yeah, no, I would not.
Now, speaking of the bank, I heard you like. Is this true that you robbed it, or do you not, or not true?
True.
Holy Lord!
I find that men, when they find out that I robbed a bank, I find that to be like an aphrodisiac. I can go out on a date with almost anybody and say, well, yeah, you want to go to dinner? Because I want to hear all about this bank robbery. I'd be like, sure, yeah. You know, it technically is called embezzlement, but it's still robbing the bank. It's just robbing the bank that you happen to work at.
Yeah. Oh man. Now, two more questions. Who's the most intimidating comedian you've ever had to follow?
Well, that I've ever had to follow. Usually, if they're that intimidating, nobody follows them, you know,
right
at the end. But I'd say one of the most intimidating comics that I used to work with that was intimidating until we became very, very good friends. And then he requested me and we was on the road together. I'd say maybe Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say maybe him because I'm not easily intimidated. You know, I'll go behind any motherfucking body. Sure. I don't care. I wouldn't be excited to go behind Chappelle, but I do it. I absolutely wouldn't follow Cat Williams. Forget it.
Really? Wow. See, I'm kind of like that too, where like I don't mind if I follow somebody. I'm not saying that I'll do good, but like I love stand-up so much, I'll do it even if like that's the only spot offered. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So, I understand. I do.
Yeah. And then the last question I have for you and forgive me because I'm sure you've been asked this, but I'm a huge Sandra Bullock fan. She's like my crush. I wanted to know, what was she like?
You know, okay, so I did this movie with Sandra Bullock called All About Steve, and it also had a young Bradley Cooper and an even younger Ken Jeong, okay? And then, of course, Bradley and Ken went on to do the Hangover series together, and I did A Star is Born with Bradley. Sandra is so super cool that I could not believe it. I mean, she's got 2 dogs that she rescued. They're living a fucking lavish life now. The fucking dogs living better than you or me right now. One of them ain't got no front legs, and one of them's got a missing hind leg. And their little asses hopping around like bunny rabbits and hop right up on a fucking $75,000 trailer and lay in a beautiful bed, eat gourmet motherfucking dog food. And she's very patient because I think that she had something to do with a little bit of directing that film as well. But she's really, really cool. She's really super cool. Super, 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 super cool.
That's good to hear, because you hear all these horror stories about like you should never meet your heroes. You know what I mean? And I always wanted to meet.
Yeah. I know she's a wonderful, wonderful. I had and have, I've had bad experiences like Tommy Davidson. He wasn't my hero, but I was really excited to be working with him back in the day. And he was just a dick. Maybe he's not a dick, and maybe he was just a dick to me. Yeah. So, it could be me. But we've worked together since then because we're professionals. But I still don't give a fuck that much.
Yeah, I got a crazy story about Tommy Davidson. He was performing at the Mall of America in Minnesota at the House of Comedy Club, and there was like a big blizzard, like it locked everyone in. So like he didn't sell any tickets. There was maybe 7 people in the audience, and I was visiting my father who lives there, and I asked if I could do a set, and he said sure. He didn't know me. I did a set, and then he went on and he did like 2 hours for 7 people. And I was just like, wow. So like, I don't know if he's a dick or not, but as an artist, I was like, holy Lord, that's incredible. You know what I mean?
That's a narcissistic psycho motherfucker. Listen, I would go out into the audience. I would sit with the 7 people. I would kiki with them for maybe 45 minutes and be like, okay, you had a personal kiki with me for 45 minutes. I'm gone. And, it's a blizzard. I suggest you take yourself home. To hold somebody in a blizzard for 2 hours, 7 people, that's like holding somebody hostage.
That's what a narcissist will do.
Absolutely, a narcissist can do that. Fuck.
I love you, Luenell.
Yeah. Well, I'm a love me or hate me type of chick.
Now, Alan Lee, do you have any last second questions for Luenell?
No, I tell you, this was another lesson for me to put in my my satchel of comedy lessons. And, hopefully, I'll open the fucking satchel and get up ASAP.
Yeah, baby, open that bag up and let that shit fly. I am, like I said, I'm just very happy to have had this interview today. And I like you guys. And, don't let nobody tell you shit. You, me, and your co-host, we have a date to go to the motherfucking Comedy and Magic Theater and throw eggs at that bitch and tomatoes and shit. And I'm going to call TMZ because I got them on speed dial.
And then we're going to do the rec room and have a Luenell burger.
There you go.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. I will do that. I'm going to hold you to that, too. Better put it on the menu. You never know when I might pop through there. I want to see my motherfucking burger on the menu.
The second we hang up, I'm going to email your publicist my number, and she could send it to you, and you could text me, and we'll make it happen.
Okay.
I promise you that. Okay,
Yes.
Luenell, we got to wrap up. I know you don't have Twitter anymore. I know you have a bad history with Twitter.
Yeah,
Is there-
I got hacked, and then the hacker's friends knew who it was and told me and sent me all kind of evidence, and I sent it all to Twitter, and I had pictures and everything. And Twitter didn't do a damn thing to help me get my Twitter back. So fuck Twitter. Instagram gets all my love.
all right. What's your Instagram so the folks can follow you?
My Instagram is excuse me.
Said it earlier.
I was about to gag out. My Instagram is at Luenell, at Luenell on Instagram. Please subscribe to me, follow me, as they say. My website is heylunell.com, and that will have my tour dates, which is, a Helium Comedy Club in Indianapolis. Is going to be, I think, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June. Then I have the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Norcross, and that's Father's Day weekend. And the following weekend, I am at Helium once again in St. Louis. Those are my first 3 dates out of quarantine. Hold on to your britches.
Yeah.
And after that, the Rec Room.
Yeah, for burgers and jokes.
Luenell, thank you so much. And next time we'll do a studio. And, I had a blast. You really made me smile
you so
today.
much,
So
my
thank
dear.
you.
Luenell.
Yeah, that's my pleasure. And like I said, I'm not sure who said that to you, but fuck them. Whatever your whatever your status is physically or mentally, don't nobody have the right to tell you that you're never gonna be nothing, that you suck or anything like that. Because some of the craziest situations have netted us some of the most beautiful and wonderful people. Some of the people who have flopped on the Apollo have came back there and slayed, So, look at my boyfriend, Bruno Mars. He started off imitating Elvis Presley at 6 years old. That was a hacky ass job. But, because I don't fuck with kids. I'm like W.C. Fields. But look at him now, So don't nobody have the right to tell you that shit. So if anybody ever says anything foul like that to you again, you tell them to go to hell and tell them that your Auntie Luenell said so.
Oh, I love you, Luenell. Thank you so
Don't ever
much.
let nobody talk to you like that. Shit.
All righty. Well, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to email the publicist right now my number and we'll text.
That sounds fine to me.
Have a great day, Luenell.
To both of you and your audience, thank you for having me on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right. That was the interview with Luenell, guys. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcast. Alan Lee, that was fantastic.
I learned so much from her. And what I liked about, she said about hack, because, sometimes we use that word hack. It's true. Someone who does not write.
You use that word.
Yeah, well, she used it. I heard on the interview.
Yeah, but you use it all the time.
Yeah, well, I could use it. It's a free country, free speech, First Amendment. You can use any fucking word you want. So getting to my point, she did make a wonderful point about people who don't write new material. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad this is not a video. That don't write new material and use the same fucking joke, that they've been using before COVID and even before that. And that applies to all of us. We need to write new material, because if you say the same fucking joke over and over again, it's good. It's good. But, as you get, you move up the grid, and you're a big, strong man now, and that's not nice. You're a big, strong man now. Sometimes when you say something like that's not nice. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that I'm very glad that we're not on video, because these physical comedy that he's doing now is really, how shall I say, filthy. Very good. That's funny. That's really funny. So anyway, I hope that we have more guests come on, and I would say, Sandra Bullock was an interesting. I forgot that you're such a big Sandra Bullock, because you normally you talk about Cusack, or what's that guy Cusack?
John Cusack.
Yeah, but this time you brought up Sandra Bullock, and I forgot that you're a big fan of hers.
I am.
So
All right, Alan Lee, we got to end the show. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Reza Riffs, and we'll see you next time.
Beautiful.
All right.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.